brought your helmet this year. I got my helmet this year. Okay, do we need these? Do we need these or are we here okay? You're good. Can we hear the back? Can we hear the back?
Yeah, let's do it. My voice sounds crazy.
Well, my name is Jason Faunt. For those of you that just decided to say it, I guess.
The reason I started laughing, I feel like Jason just recognized that I felt like making up a name.
So do we want to have like someone that, what were you asking? We have Ryan over here? Oh, he's cool. Our man Java.
Thank you, Java.
Hi.
Hi.
So any questions, guys, come on up there. This is your chance to ask anything you want from us, and we're excited to meet y'all.
We're very excited to meet you. And I started sniffling and sneezing, which is why you're going to see me hand sanitizing, so I'm going to have a little side while we talk, so don't mind me. I just had a bag of potato chips while we were walking here, so I could have a side. Okay, yeah, hi, that's my personal life. Okay, question.
You've eaten more than most of us.
What?
You've eaten more than most of us.
Oh, you guys, eat! That's crazy.
Yeah, very valid, very valid.
Yeah. I'm all about it. Stay hydrated, eat, and get some sleep. Doctor's orders, I'll test each of you. I saw some people in the lobbies, I was like, go to bed, right now.
If you have questions, you go to Mr. Job over here on the right-hand side.
Or if you guys just want to hang out, we'll just keep talking. So,
Favorite team-up episode from any Power Rangers season?
oh. Don't you say it.
But the
You're
point.
gonna say it.
No. You know what? I would say probably Forever Red I enjoyed. That was a lot of fun.
That's a good one.
Yeah. It was cool to meet a lot of those guys, and when we went to do it, I wasn't sure what we would think going in. There's a lot of different personalities, but I'll tell you what, everyone that's worked on that show, it's like a fraternity and sorority. It was so cool to work with.
Yeah.
And it was a blast to do that, so that would be mine.
I like, for me, talk aside. I liked Movie Madness, and I liked the Wild Force Team Up. Mostly because I got to wear those awesome dreads and have the leather outfit.
What's going on?
But yeah, those were I just loved. In the Movie Madness, I got to do like a real, big fighting sequence with a bunch of people, and that was really, really fun. And we got to shoot in a Buddhist temple. And remember that big one in like Pasadena? It was so beautiful. My mom's Buddhist, so I was raised Buddhist. So it felt like home to me. It was really nice. Anybody, anything?
I know you guys have
How's my
questions.
life? Is it great, I think?
What's up?
Woman. Hi.
Hey, this is a fun question I wanted to ask. During the filming, whether with props or anything else from there, was there ever a moment you stopped and thought, this way is why the others have not remembered the scissors?
Like we've had problems with the props and stuff.
Like incidents or anything, be like,
Like the explosion. Oh.
Any prop failure?
Yeah, the truth is with those props, a lot of them they really, they almost are overly cautious on set. I mean, they really are doing a good job of protecting us as the actors. The one thing that did happen is a lot of those explosions, there's an actual team of people that are there to light those off. And that you have to be careful of. There's a few times where things exploded. You know, that first day on set, we were downtown LA, which was major explosions. Because you could just feel the heat just blasting through. But we had a stuntman accidentally, he was supposed to jump over, it was in Movie Madness in the Western, to jump through and an explosion happened behind him, and it prematurely exploded and got him in the face. And he, yeah, so he played, he was her double for the Big Ranger a lot, Kazu. So that was the one time, and it was, yeah, when that stuff happened, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was scary. It was scary. Because when it happens on set at all, it's scary, but especially when it happens just on a man who's so trained and everything is supposed to work like clockwork. And you mentioned Kazu, and I just want to say I had two amazing stuntmen, Kazu and Cahill. And Kazu was, I would say right about this tall.
Yeah.
So whenever I would morph, and it would be costume, I would always be able to tell on camera. Because Tomo was about my size. He was actually a little thinner than I was, so I was always excited to meet more. He was like, oh my God, I'm so small. And Kazu was like shorter, so I could always be like, when I was watching the show, oh Kazu, oh Tomo, Kazu.
Any other questions?
I always want to know, like, how much I love Jason Faunt. It's so much, it's silly. Seriously, 14 years later. I tell him all the time. Just like this. Hi.
I'm just curious because we see a lot of more things recently. What was it like working with Koichi? Because he seems to have that family bonding thing going on with any cast that he works with.
Koichi Sakamoto to this day, and I've been very, very blessed to work a good amount since Rangers. So, you know, and like not to brag, but like 80-something sets later, Koichi Sakamoto is still one of my favorite directors. The way he works with the crews, the way he works with an actor. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember our season 5, like I cried a lot. There was a lot of stuff happening, and he always knew what to say, get me in the right emotional state. He'd pull me aside, and he would just say one thing, and I would come out like either pissed or either like sad. He just one of the best directors I've worked with. Like, yeah, I've worked with ones that have been like, hey Erin, cry harder. That's exactly what I got. I won't say what show, but it's
You cry versus your left.
that was basically no. I was like over because I was across the field anyway. I was like, okay, what? You know, like, what does that even mean? So like Kazu or Koichi was the exact opposite. I'm just making a British accent. I was like,
Oh yeah, Koichi was fantastic. Him and Erin had a very special relationship. But he's one of those guys that when you see now, it's almost like, you know, you see it for me like an uncle, you know, someone that you're close to and the hugs and the whole thing. So, but really easygoing. He's what you call an actor's director. Very, very actor friendly, and there's a big difference. So Koichi's great, and it was great to. He was out in New Zealand again. He came back from Legendary War, so it was good to see him again.
Yeah, I kind of saw because anytime you see anything like recently, like when you see like Comrade Forte or like Joyuger or anything like recently that he's done, and then I was like, oh, he's coming back with him. Thank God. Getting all those people together. There's only one person. We'll give him a hand. Hold on.
yeah, it's true. Aww.
I asked this in the last panel. Outside of the season that you guys were on, what's your favorite Ranger season?
It's hard because, to be honest, I haven't watched them all, and I'm so sorry to say. I'm so sorry, guys. You know, I don't know. It's hard also because I have biased opinions because of people I've met at different conventions or different events. Like I fall in love with them personally, and I'm one of those. Like if I like you personally, it's really hard for me to separate them and personal. So I'll just go with all of them.
I would do the same. I mean, I've become very close with the guys that are in the current season with Super Mega Force, and then the year before, like Najee and Steven Skyler, we've met at a few conventions, and I kind of do the same. I've heard SPD was a really good season. I saw parts of that. Of course, I don't remember pretty well. But I've always heard, you know, people love the original, they love Time Force, and SPD just want to hear come out a lot. It was a season that was really well done. So.
Sorry, question. I just asked a question. Off the record.
I actually have 2 questions.
Sure.
First one is, Jason, who was your favorite to play, Alex or Wes?
Who's my favorite one to play?
Yeah.
You know what? I enjoyed Wes. Wes is true to who I am, and it was more me. It is me. Besides the Millionaire Family. That's but yeah, I would say Wes is a lot more fun.
And my second question is, were there any practical jokes that you guys played on set?
Yeah, I'll have to save some of those for the Over 18 panel tonight.
Oh yeah, because when you come tonight? Yeah. I'm telling everybody, if you don't drink, that's totally fine. But if you do, I suggest you have at least one alcoholic beverage before you show up. Probably will too.
Just trying to get everybody to push you.
Look, I just think you're here. We should celebrate. It's a celebration.
like to have seen happen? Or
You're saying something like
things that you
I love it.
There was closure to the storyline last year to 18 and up camp.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I have a little girl and she's watching it now, so I was actually watching the annual timing the other day. I just think they're really, really well done. I know people always talk about, no one ever kissed on the actual show, right? Mighty Morphin did?
Mighty Morphin did, yeah.
They did, okay. But that, yeah, I thought that would have been a nice ending to it. I personally was kind of thought they could have put closure and have her come back eventually. I thought that would have been a good ending. And that's the question I'm most often asked, is how come they didn't come together?
And I liked the way it ended dramatically, like as a story. I liked it because I always in my imagination thought they ended up together at some point in the future, but I know it's kind of close. And for me, it felt open. Like for me in my world, I was like, someday they get back together. But I like dramatically, I thought it made more of an interesting story.
It was very,
and it was very like, oh, and it ends and you're like, no, you know.
And that's true. And that's real life. I mean, it doesn't always work. You know, it's real life. So, right?
I'm so jaded about dating. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. You've been there since.
It doesn't always work out.
I know Wild Horse was a little open-ended whether or not, like, they didn't show Jen coming back, and I also noticed in SPD, because Sky mentions his dad, the Red Ranger, and you see the Time Force suit, is that a connection, or what is that? Did they secretly have a kid or something?
I don't know. I don't know. I heard a lot about that because they had the Time Force, one of the kids had that. So I don't know why they did it that way. I actually asked the producer that question when I had seen New Zealand. He had said that they had it on there and they had just put someone else's face on there. And I don't know if they really put it together that fans would quickly notice that. They're pretty laid back about it. So I don't know why they did it. Maybe there was no connection. I'm not sure.
Maybe they put all little pictures of your helmets in their hat. And they drew it.
Yeah.
It was all yours.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Nobody knew.
Just because was that different wardrobe?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
The sagers.
And they wouldn't have to have paid me.
And there's your answer.
Hi there.
Hi.
The Time Force Megazord, which one did you like more, the red one or the blue one?
Red? For obvious reasons.
What about you? Did you like red or blue?
Oh, always red. My answer is going to always be red.
If Michael Copan was here, it might be different.
No. Not so much.
I really like him in the blue form, especially in the Shadow Megazord mode.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Shadow Megazord. That was really cool.
But I liked it the way the red mode looked in the Shadow form.
Oh, thank you. What was your name again?
Wyatt.
Wyatt.
Hello?
Thanks, Wyatt. Hi. Hi, Sky. Oh. No, I know, right? You guys, you can't. And her little sister London, right? Sky in London. Yeah. Sky and her little sister London, yeah. There's like a little, if you see her, oh, she's back there, and she's doing this.
What projects are you guys working on this year or next year?
I have 2 movies coming out, 2 romantic comedies that I did. On the female lead, like the love interest. So they should be pretty fun. I prefer one over the other, but I won't say what. You have to watch the both and figure out which one is better. I'll let you guys know what they were in just a minute. But yeah, no, I did them right around this year. There were no black looking out of them. But yeah, those are fun, so that's fun. And then, Island season is when we book the new shows. So last year, last year I booked my pilots in March. Do you know what pilot season is, you guys? Yeah, it's when they create the new shows and then actors do the new
show. So, yeah, so that's just what's happening in Los Angeles right now. So it's like an exciting time. It's cool, and it's kind of everything. It's like great, a novel, you know. Hi.
Good.
This one's for Erin. How did it feel being the leader of the Power Rangers before Wesley?
Did you see us doing the slow turn? She was the first real female leader, and it was so much fun to play. It was really cool knowing that, like already knowing that we were going to be a part of history was awesome.
Did you know that going into that? Does it happen? Or?
They mentioned it to me when we first started. So I loved it. I love strong characters, and she was just one of my favorites to play because I think it's just like my freckles. I played Girl Next Door a lot, and I don't know. So it was really fun to play like a gas leader. I loved it. And I loved giving him, I was just gonna cuss, trouble. And Vernon Wells, who still were great friends. Paul too called me the other day. That was so fun getting to like spar with him. This was really great. Sorry, I heard you just smell like me. You are so great. Can you tell I'm looking right at you?
Who are you talking to?
Okay. Oh, hi, yeah.
First, I love both of y'all retiring.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming back for making for it. And how do they feel coming back, you know, they do in 2002, coming back in 2014?
I'll tell you what, it felt like nothing changed, and here's why. The current crew, they brought back virtually everybody once the bond took it back over. So, on and Sean Flynn and Chris Howard, I mean, so a lot of the same crew is now working on New Zealand. So it felt like nothing had changed. Yeah, so it was really cool. It was cool to go out there and it felt, you know, yeah, it was good. They made us wear thongs and they could sit now, so that was kind of tough. That was different. And now I know it's not for me, yeah. We struggled with that for a while. Yeah.
I had another question for Erin. I saw that you have done an episode of Castle. I haven't seen it. I need to find it. Well, what was it like working on that set, especially with a guy like Nathan?
Oh, Nathan's great. I've actually known him for years. I didn't tell him I was auditioning or anything, so when I got it, he wrote me a note. Like, he's the coolest guy, you guys. He's so generous and so sweet. Sent a little like welcome note and then a GPS because he's like, I don't know, it was like a funny joke inside the note. He's just the set was great. Stana's so great. God, she's like distractingly beautiful. You're like, well, I'm sorry, what did you just say? It's really fun, and a bunch of the crew members I had worked with before on different projects. So that was also, I love working with the crew. Speaking of Banner, do you remember Banner?
Yeah.
Totally ran into him on set.
Which one? I see him. Who likes stuff?
Some right?
Yeah.
So it's like crew members that we worked with that we run into. So that was a super fun set. He's just fun and a blast. That kid is hilarious. Hi. Hola. He's from Brazil.
Brazil.
Anybody else want to ask?
Don't hesitate.
I got two. What was the highlights of your guys' entire life? And another question a friend of mine asked me because they saw your panel that I recorded last year. Who were your guys' favorite superheroes? Since you guys don't play heroes, who do you guys look up to?
Oh, I love it.
Great questions. That's great. So go first. I said our favorite moment in our lives.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the other one was what's our favorite superhero? Who's our favorite superhero?
Yes, since you guys play heroes.
Let me think. For sure, superhero was always Superman for me. I was a big Superman fan growing up.
Good choice.
I'll let you do superhero. I'm thinking about it. I think I already know what I'm thinking about it for a second.
Does Yoda count as a superhero?
Yeah.
I have 2 Star Wars t-shirts and I wear them so much. My friend's like, how many do you
you have? So actually, you go to the t-shirt guy and see if there's like different ones here. You have that. And then I can take,
Go for it.
there's been a couple, I've been so lucky to like travel the world. I'm super duper passionate about it. One of my favorite things was taking my grandma to Italy for her birthday because her dream was to go under the Tuscan sun. So we did that. And so that was like amazing. We had my mom, my sister, my grandma in Italy, and magical. And then, I did this 11-day adventure hike with 3 girlfriends in New Zealand, but completely like a year and a half ago. So before 3, so I was so bummed. I was like, oh, I was just there like 8 months ago, and so you guys did it. And that was really amazing because I'm super girly. I mean, no, that's not true. Kind of like a boy with makeup on, but I hadn't had, like they call it hiking, because we were scaling mountains. And I was like literally, at one point we were like this, and there was a big drop of no heart, like no here. And I was shaking and like crying and saying, you guys didn't describe this on the pamphlet. And it was so hard. So that was why it was such an amazing experience for me, because it was so hard. Like, not just physically, but mentally. Because once I let go of the fear and the judgment and all that stuff, it was actually one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. I think so. Thanks for letting me share that. I don't talk about that too much, but it was really like hard and awesome. I'm wearing a skirt. Okay, there is a, okay.
Camera right there.
No, I just realized I was like sitting, I was like talking like this, you know.
I would say, I'll give 2. You actually enlightened me to one. So I think the first experience that comes to mind is when my first daughter was born. That's something that will stick out for me. It was when I first had my child. Experience like that, for a bit I dabbled in scuba diving. And I was scuba diving up in the place called Cahill, California.
Yeah.
And usually you stick with a partner. And what's cool about, is anyone scuba diving? A couple of you been? Okay, so as you know, that certain areas, you know, like fish aren't afraid of you. I mean, they don't really have fear. So if you go in, it's kind of like every animal in the forest comes right up to you. And if you reach out, they scatter, but they just come right up. So I had a moment when I was there where there were these harbor seals that were kind of lurking around, kind of watching me, and it was all kelp forest. And so the forests were there, the seals were kind of there lurking. I had great visibility. The fish were there. It was kind of surreal. It was like it was just like I was at one with all these animals, and no one else was around. So that moment kind of sticks out. That feeling of all these animals just coming up to you. And that was pretty cool. So I remember that experience in terms of, you know, kind of the, you know, whatever you call it, adventure type thing. I said that. And this is time in Hollywood.
Hello. So I think the general fandom kind of regards Time Wars as being one, if not the most progressive, darker tones, you know, series in the entire Power Rangers universe. Did you guys, were you aware of sort of the general tone or undertakings of the series, and did you anticipate the fan reaction or anything in that regard?
Yeah, you know, that's a great question. Very insightful question. You know, when I got on the show, I went back and watched a few episodes from all the previous seasons to kind of get a feel more for the show, but not too much where I would see how the other characters were as actors. So I didn't really know the theme as much as how our show compared. I didn't know that it was at that level. And I would say once we started, you know, years after, it started to come out. So I didn't realize at the time that it was different. I didn't realize at the time, but now it's brought up all the time. I mean, we have parents say, you know, I watched it with my kids and I was taken in. I was in on a love story. I was in on, you know, their love story, the issues with your dad and her chasing down Ramsey. It was really, really well done. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I certainly do now.
Same. Sorry, I was looking for my chapstick. But I was listening intently. But same. Is that? I don't think we realized how much of an impact our season was going to make. That's one of my favorite sounds. My roommates, I used to have roommates years ago, and they would give me crap, a little now, but they would give me crap, because I'd be like, well, you know, I just don't want to hear the sound of like this
laughing. They were like, "You're such a dork." But yeah, we didn't realize what an impact our season would have, or how different it was until after, and now we hear that so much. And then also we were so young, like I didn't realize what a gift it would be to be able to play a story like that, because those kind of things don't come along as often as you would hope. So, thank you. It's a very good question.
You guys did a wonderful job. One of my favorite seasons so far.
Thank you so much. I was looking at your pictures the other day. My eyebrows were so thin. What? My eyebrows were so thin. I was like, severe. I look severe.
I just wanted to thank you guys for like the years of fun and for coming to do these conventions, for all your fans that want to come and meet you and everything. My question is for you, Erin. I spoke to you briefly earlier about Cahill. What was it like to work on that set?
Which one?
Tom.
Yeah.
Where's Tom?
Thank you.
Hi, Pumpkin. Sorry,
How are you?
Tom and Rob just got married this year, you guys. It's very exciting. Working on Sleepy Hollow, that was awesome. So much fun, and I was only hired me for one episode, but I keep like crossing my fingers they'll bring me back just because it was such a fun experience. They have like, it's great because they're in North Carolina, so they kind of, if you're in LA shooting the show, you can kind of get how big the show is. You know what I mean? And when you start, you're doing press at the same time. But if you're way on location, you're in a bubble. So they didn't know, like, they like knew they were Fox's number one hit. That just doesn't. Anyway. They were just so innocent and sweet because they weren't doing all the press. They hadn't seen their 2 feet tall billboards on Sunset Boulevard. I was like, you guys know you're like the whole front of Fox right now, like the front of Fox Studios. They're like, what? I was like, nobody's sending you a picture. You just see it.
Probably trying not to get it.
Right. Don't know what big stars there yet, but it was so lovely. And like Katya, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta text Katya and invite her out. And Tom, I said, do you guys watch the show?
Yes.
He is dreamy. I spent half the episode like running around holding his hand and being scared, and his girlfriend was there. She's so lovely, so like I was respectful, but I kept making jokes. I'd be like, my job's so hard. I'd have to like be scared, and I was like, oh no. It was so fun. And I got to do my own stunt on that, which was super. I mean, if you watch the episode, you don't know it's a stunt, but it just gets pulled away by the monster. But they had a stunt woman on set, like a rig and the whole thing. And I was like, you guys can I try it? And they let me try it. So they gave me a Sleepy Hollow stuntman hat, which is my favorite one. Yeah. It was really fun. Thank you, Pastor.
Good job.
My question is actually about, because obviously Power Rangers was adapted from Super Sentai, so I was just wondering about, what was that like? Did they ever have you watch the original Sentai and you were like,
No, they did. Well, a couple of times because when I was on the show playing Wes and Alex, they had showed me some clips of it, of how they wanted to do it. But it was a few times, not too often.
Yeah, I did.
Not too often.
Another question for the both of you. Favorite Power Ranger villain of all time?
Rancid. Easy.
He's just. Are you dressed like Wes?
Not today. I will be tomorrow. Right now I'm being Troy, so. I do have, speaking of Wes, I do have a question for Jason. Your Instagram recently showed a picture of your daughter having now 2 of the 12-inch figures that she's stuck in a cart. Like, how is that type of scale, given that, like, with the 12-inch figures, Time Force was only one of the only ones that actually had the actors' faces on them. Like, how do you respond to something like that?
I love it. I thought that was the coolest thing. So it's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, she's kind of looking at them now, and like for a while, I think they were like, but now they realize what kind of attention it gets at school. That was on the show, so they're like, oh, well, maybe I can get something from this. So they love doing it. They call it Baby Daddy, and sometimes I'll come in the house, and one time it'll be in a shopping cart like that. That was totally spontaneous. I mean, they're in the shopping cart. Other times they're like laying face down, and I see it, I'm just like, face down. It's like my little voodoo dolls. I gotta make sure he's.
Oh man, my imagination is so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask a weird question. I'm gonna take a picture of you guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture of that. Is that okay? Here, wait. I'm gonna take a picture of you guys first. Jason, you stay there. You're in it. Jason. Yay. Come on, do it again.
This one?
Yeah. 1, 2. Thank you. Oh wait, did you come up there? Come like a best better.
Okay.
However you, whatever you think. Okay, thanks so much.
Okay, so on the count of three, everybody cheer. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
Thanks, guys. Where are you in the cute plaid skirt? Do you want to ask a question? Are you dressed? Oh, yeah. That would be weird if she wasn't. I'm like, can you dress in the
Yeah. First is, where do you see your characters like 20 years after their last Power Rangers appearance? And Erin, how would you contrast Jen's relationship with Alex versus her relationship with Jen?
Well, gosh, you know what? I mean, we were like 14 years ago. 20 years is not too far off. That's really soon. Keep talking, just gonna cut my thigh just a little bit, just to keep it and then Alex and Jen, I mean, I really had fun when he was being Wes. I mean, we had fun when he was being Alex too, but it was, you know, it was so serious and it was so, it was all, I mean, you know, so it's really, I mean, like, it was, I don't know, it was really fun to have the flirty, like, I'm annoyed with you, but I really like you thing.
Well, you gave Alex his ring back, so.
There's so many memories of that. That's it. That was it. You guys, that's it. My brain just shut off. Did you see how my brain's on? All right, down. Anything else you guys want to know? We will cover some fun stories at the panel tonight. The pranks on set. I will say like a PG prank. That was, for a while we were rotating a whoopee cushion. Was it you, Robert, or was it Kevin?
I think it must have been Kevin. I don't remember bringing it in.
Yeah. I mean, we give each other a really good time.
Yeah. We did some good stuff tonight too. But what we would sometimes do, it was fun, is we would, and this you could say, we would, Michael and I would do this, and we do it too, where he would be standing there slowly and lock hands.
Because if we knew if they were doing like a shot, you know, from here up, we could just do stuff to each other like below where the camera was, so we would see stuff like the crew and stuff.
Yeah.
And like off camera making faces at each other.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
The camera was over our shoulder getting like a POV of them. We were like,
Once you start laughing, there's just no going back.
we would be so tired.
Yeah.
That because we shot 5 days a week, like 12-hour days. And then travel time. It was a lot, and then studying for the next day. It was a lot. It was really intense, actually.
Yeah.
So sometimes we would be so very tired that we would just send each other into giggle fits, and it would take, I mean, literally like crying and being like, I'm so sorry, I just need a minute.
Yeah.
It was really fun. It was so fun. I fell asleep one time on set. We
you were supposed to be.
Right. Yeah. Right. We used to fall asleep all the time, like, in our chairs and stuff. But
there was the one where you were supposed to be sleeping and I was laying by the bed with you.
Yeah. Like, not supposed to actually sleep on set. And I was just like, all right, well, break a leg.
It's 6:30 in the morning. There's that she is a really good sleeper.
I was like, I'm not sleeping.
That was true, because certain scenes with lighting and coverage can take a long, long time. And if that scene, she was knocked out for revenge on the bed, there's no reason for her to get up in between takes. So yeah, you just calm down.
It's the only time I slept on set. On today's set.
Wes, were you jealous? Did you want to go to sleep?
What's that?
Were you jealous? Did you want to go to sleep?
Yeah, I'm sure. It was probably 5:45 in the morning, so yeah. I'm sure I probably saw her sleeping and didn't want her to be that comfortable, so I was probably going to wake her up.
Is there any, hi, you guys are here. Is there
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you a little story, okay, just to kind of show how things go from generation to generation, but sometimes the wrong way. So he starts, as a 2-year-old, he starts out watching, he's 16 now, so he starts out watching Lost Galaxy. He moves on to Lightspeed Rescue and then Time Force, and as parents, watching it with him, made an impact on us, I guess. And I guess you, Erin, left an impact on us. Because one day, we're watching Chuck, and there's an episode with the bullet train, and suddenly he's in the next room, and I'm calling him in, and I'm like, do you see that? And he's like, who is that? Who is that? And I'm like, look at her. And we say it at the same time. It's the pink light Time Force train. Yeah, it was just the fact that I could recognize you in that whole other context. Showed that his fandom spread to his parents.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, it's funny that does happen. Does that happen to you? Like, parents will recognize me from, and sometimes it's from different things, but it's cool. But the parents of kids that will watch Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, the fandoms. I was in a meeting the other day over by John Hughes, and the guy around security was at Morphicon, and I went in where I was meeting with one of my clients, and I came out and we had the validation sticker because I was there like an hour and a half. And he's like, "Here you go, Mr. Faunt. It was a pleasure meeting you." And I'm thinking, I'm looking around for something. I'm thinking, what is he? So
right.
Yeah, what happens? And they're just, like I said, we love meeting everybody. We love when we come up and say hello. I mean, to me, we're blessed to be in this situation, to be part of such a great show. So
absolutely,
we love you guys. We love that.
Plus your episodes are on DVD now.
They are. Yeah. Netflix has completely reawakened our series to a whole new generation.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So
it's really, really great.
Yeah.
What?
My 3-year-old nephew's getting into Power Rangers.
Aw, tell him to say hi.
His favorite character is ironically right now.
They're awesome.
All right, this is for both of them. Did any of you guys on the show do any of your own stunts?
I eventually got your son, yeah. We kind of had to fight for it because there was a history of the Rangers kind of breaking themselves a little bit. Like here, this thing, So we, or at least in my experience, I went in and I was like, guys, I really want to do some stuff. Like I'm athletic, I dance my whole life, I really want to do something. And I just kind of whittled them down over time. And so by the end, I was in harnesses and I was kicking and fighting. So
yeah, it was our season. Like I said, it was. They really were good at protecting us. So in the beginning, if we went down, the show goes down. So in the beginning, they were very, very particular about. I mean, there's one scene where Wes had to run up a flight of stairs, and they brought a stunt double. I'm like, guys, I could run up a flight of stairs. So in the beginning, it was like that. And I think, towards the end, they started to know us, and that stunt fighting is serious stuff. I mean, it's so well coordinated, so well timed, and if you're not careful, people can really get hurt. I mean, just an actual miss and a punch, you catch someone in the eyeball. I mean, this is so many things. So it's protecting us, but also protecting the stuntmen because the guys that are doing it know how to pull punches, know how to do stuff. But towards the end, we got to do a lot more, especially the last time for mine. A lot of that was, except for any kind of landing and stuff, I was able to do.
Yeah. And I actually stayed really good friends with, Dan and a bunch of people, but TJ, yeah. Do you guys remember the character Frax, the big yellow kind of One of my best friends, still to this day, played him a lot. And so he his name is TJ. One of the stuntmen.
TJ Ricola.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? I can't believe he's telling that story.
Terrence.
Yeah, Terrence. Yeah.
Me and Dan are good friends.
What?
Me and Dan are still good friends.
They're still totally great friends, yeah. Yeah, our season was really special that way. We've been told of all this, like all the seasons, we stayed the closest. We were the closest also during filming, because there were seasons that were all really close, but all of us were a little family, which is really special. Really special. You don't get that on any sets.
Did you all guys play the games that you voiced them?
Darius.
Yeah. Darius.
I like to test it. Did we do what?
Did you play the games that you guys voiced them?
I did. That's it. That it was from PlayStation 1 probably.
Right.
I did play it.
It
was cool. Remember when you did that?
Oh, I remember that. I have a confession to make. I have not played that game or Call of Duty, and I'm also in that game. I sort of like Call of Duty on when we were filming it. They would do like a test avatar, then like towards the end. But I didn't have a game. It was mocap.
I think I did the voice too.
Yeah. Call of Duty is my voice, but and my movements. And then they made her face look like mine. Which also nice, because generally they kind of like make it similar to you, but like sort of different. But it's my face.
It's really, they do really.
I was so grateful. When I saw the avatar, I was like, oh, okay, teared up.
Yeah, they did a really good job with this.
Yeah, they did awesome. It was just awesome. But yeah, I played it a little bit, but I never actually really, because you guys, like boys, you've been practicing with your thumbs. That is like hard for a girl who hasn't had years of practice. I'm like, go forward. Like, how do you do that? Just like looking up and around. So
It's not that easy.
it's not that easy. You have to be kind of slightly ambidextrous.
It takes time.
Yeah.
My friend's daughter did dance on Call of Duty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How
I'm
was
pretty good
it?
at it.
What?
I'm pretty good at it.
We're talking about girls.
Well, what time do we have until? Is that,
Yeah, 20 minutes left.
we do?
Wow, that's so long. Oh,
You don't need the question.
daughters. So busy. Like, hang on, I'm checking his phone. I'll tell you, are you guys Walking Dead fans? Yeah. I can't wait to meet Carol. I'm so excited. I did Call of Duty with Michael Rooker, which was so fun. You know who he is, Merle? Yeah. Like, his character is like, Merle. Oh, he turned around to this nice man. Have you seen Walking Dead? I'm obsessed with every episode. Like, when they have you, are you guys caught up? So if I say something, I won't be like, okay, whoever's not caught up, seriously, spoiler alert, cover your ears.
I don't remember.
The father. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh my God. I like legitimately started crying. I was like, no! He made it this far. He lost a leg. Like the man. Herschel? Yeah, Herschel. Thank you, Herschel. I like the Herschel. Sorry. Side Walking Dead. Yay. Well, I'll tell us really quick. Yeah.
This is for Jason. I hate to admit, but when you played Alex, I didn't realize it was you.
That is a compliment.
That's a compliment.
I was wondering if you had to do anything to get into that mentality of playing a different character like that.
You know what they did in the audition is they actually had the piece I was auditioning for, they would want me to come and read it and then to come back in and read it as Alex. They wanted to see two very, very contrasting characters. But it was the same audition because that was the audition process. So, you know, Wes is very true to who I really am. So that's just more tapping into you know, your own person, which sometimes can be very hard to do.
Yeah.
But and so yeah, it was just you're always pulling pieces of your life that you can help use towards any characters. But it was nice. I mean, the hair was so much darker, the suit. There's so much that they wanted to focus on in terms of posture, how he walks. So that was again a credit to like Koichi. I mean, very good at trying to find different things that even if I missed, to kind of change whether you're saluting or the way you do things, just to keep things different. But that's a compliment, so thank you.
I'm back again. I told Jason this story yesterday, but I wanted to tell you. maybe like two years ago, I met Ransom, and I didn't realize this story at the time.
Vernon, you met Vernon?
I went to a convention that he was signing autographs at too. I just took a picture with him. It was awesome meeting him. But Time Force is probably one of my favorite series because of one of my friends. When it first came out, me and him were inseparable. We watched it all the time. Well, this was before cell phones, Facebook, Twitter, and you could literally talk to anyone around the world, and he moved away. And so the last gift that he got to give me for my birthday is a Time Force Morphin. I believe I still have it somewhere, but I want to say you guys were one of my favorite seasons because of that. You guys were basically that little reminder of me and him being friends when we were so young. And maybe, I don't know, 10 years after he moved off, I finally found him on Facebook. And
oh, you lost touch? Okay.
Yeah, and we eventually we found a place to hang out real quick, and then, but it was just awesome having that season that you guys are here, and I mean, you guys embraced it, and that you guys were that season that I remembered so well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you guys close today? Are you guys staying?
I talk to him every now and then on Facebook. He's literally only like an hour and a half from where I'm stationed.
Okay.
So it's whenever we can, we try to meet back up.
Are you in the Marines?
I'm in the Navy.
The Navy?
I'm stationed out in Virginia. No problem at all.
Hi, Wyatt.
Hi. I have also a special thing about Time Force 2. Whenever my brother was first introducing me to Power Rangers, I wasn't really into it. But by the time I saw you guys, that's when I really got into it. And I really enjoyed watching it and the other series a lot.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Like, seriously, this is no joke. I'm like, want to hold the microphone next to my belly so you guys can hear it rolling. It's insane. My appetite is nuts.
This is mostly for Jason, although I guess if Erin doing anything out of the country, you applicable to you as well. You said the production crew was similar between when you came back to Super Mega Force and when you were on Time Force with Jason. How was as far as the set? It's filming in New Zealand now, as opposed to when you were on Time Force. And then for you, Erin, if you ever filming anything big country, I'm not aware of how that experience differs from being in the States.
I love that question.
You know what? The set for Time Force was very elaborate. It was really, really well done. We had stages. The time clock was all really well done. In New Zealand, everything was exterior stuff. There was no exterior.
It's so loud. I'm so sorry. It's really loud. I can hear it. It's like, I can feel it.
I want to see if we can hear it
Maybe
now.
there's a big inside.
Yeah, right. No, it's right. It was all exterior New Zealand. Everything was outside. I mean, yeah, it wasn't. We weren't at a stage, so we shot our scenes outside, and then the one scene they shot at was an abandoned. Well, it looked like a set of Saw. It was like really freaky. It was like an abandoned factory that had caught on fire, and so they shot there where portions of it were actually roped off. It was too dangerous to do. It was all because it was the end of the end of the world's happening. So it really looked really good. Yeah. So it was more exterior.
I've been lucky to work. I did a pilot for Germany, like a 2-hour pilot that turned into a movie. So I lived in Berlin for 3 months, and then I did Boogeyman in Bulgaria. So I lived in Bulgaria for a month. Boogeyman was Sony and Ghost House, which is Sam Raimi's company. So those were big sound stages, the whole thing. And then the one in Berlin was kind of the same. It was like a bigger. We got lucky. It was a pretty big production, so it was like So it's hard because I haven't had that experience internationally, like exteriors in like crazy buildings, but I have in LA, doing like little indies and stuff, being like, oh, this is good. Oh my God, I love so much. Yeah, I like filming in other countries because in Germany, they bring out beer at lunchtime. Now, I do not drink on set. I don't like to drink the night before I shoot. I just like to be clear. But it's really super fun after lunch when the crew's like, just a little bit looser. To wrap, they bring like booze. So fun. You look awesome. You're welcome.
I guess both of you could answer this question. Why do you think Alex was such a jerk when he came back?
Truthfully though, that question is, it would be nice to flush that character a little bit more, because it did definitely come off like that, to maybe see the different sides. I mean, I know in the beginning they were in love, but they went kind of 0 to 60 with him, but I mean, he was losing his wife, losing his fiance, and I think he was watching the whole thing, and
Like, you see him come back, and he's being a really big jerk, and
yeah.
you're like, you never seen him.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I wish that we had gotten to see a bit more of Alex before he died and then came back.
Yeah, it was quick. I mean, they did have the scene where I proposed, and you kind of did that a bit, but it'd be nice to see a little bit more depth of him later, that he was still on their side.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it felt, but they were, because I actually remember this because I watched the other day. He was playing this whole thing out, and they were, Wes was going to die until they came back. It was set to do it, so he had to get them out of there. And I think they didn't realize the gravity of the situation, so that was a tough love, I guess. So.
10 minutes left.
So I have like a two-part question. Do you guys keep up with like some of the other castmates that you have? And the second part of the question is of like going to cons and stuff, and the veteran people that you've met. Have you like made any new lasting friendships that you really enjoy or whatever?
Definitely. Yes, we keep in touch, right? Nikia Baris, I just like, but all of them, Karen, like a bunch of people that are here we've actually grown close to, but Nikia is probably the one that, like the three of us have gotten pretty close just from, because I've only done a couple of conventions, and I've been so lucky actually, like Nikia and Jason, down 3 or 4 or something. So, yeah, and he is my manager now. After last Lexington, she was looking for a new representation, and I was like, you are so special. I would love to introduce you. And so they're like totally in love. So
They're good?
Oh yeah, he loves her. She's hilarious.
Yeah, it's weird, guy. I mean, I wish I could say bad things about people, but there's just nothing to say. Everyone gets along very well. I mean, you do form different relationships. I mean, Nikia, we've become very close to Nikia. I've become very close with Azim on the current force here. So he's become one of my favorites. And so I guess you kind of get, you get closer with some. But through these conventions, we all hang out, we go out at night. We drink whiskey in Kentucky, so. But yeah, you definitely get closer to stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Hi. What is your all's favorite pranks you played on each other on the set?
I always the whoopee cushion sticks out to me.
What was the water thing? We had that we were washing cars in it at the end of the set. You guys kept dumping water on us. That's the one thing I remember. It's kind of funny because it was so long ago. People ask that, and sometimes like someone says, "Tell me a good joke," and you're like, I forget everything. But there was the one scene I remember that throughout the whole thing, at the end of the show, you guys poured water from like above the floor. You poured water. Right. And at the end of the thing, yeah, the girls blue and red over there. Yeah, the girls poured water on us throughout the takes. So at the end of the day, Mike and I had gotten a big gallon of water. And I don't know if you were Deb, but we had someone kind of talk with position them, and then we dumped water back to them after we got for the day. Because they've been doing this all day. So I do remember that.
I forgot all about that.
And then there's another one I do remember that I'll tell tonight. That involves a cucumber. I'm a salad
he gave me the money for that movie. And as soon as I came home, me and my friend sat right down and watched that movie all the way through.
Nice.
Yeah, so thank you, for being a coward.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, darling. And here's to you, Grandpa.
This is our last question.
Hey, how do you see out of those helmets? Because they look like they have a lot of vision power. And if you guys could switch characters with any other actor, regardless of gender, who would it be?
Specifically Power Rangers or anybody ever in the history of television?
I'm just thinking more or less Power Rangers.
Oh, okay.
So switch places with any other Ranger.
Honest to God, probably him, because I would love the chance to make two characters in one season.
I don't know. I guess, Jason Aaron has such a huge following. That looks fun. The original cast.
That's my team's I can't, sorry. Maybe.
I would say, yeah, they were part of the original thing, even though, I definitely would trade our season for anybody's.
Me too. I wouldn't
For
either.
sure.
I was one of the best experiences. Sorry, guys.
Don't anybody go anywhere.
Hey guys, listen, we just want to remind people to talk about tonight. If you haven't heard, there's an 18 and over panel, Ranger panel. 18 and over. It's upstairs. These elevators that are right outside these doors. You go to the 7th floor. Once the doors open, the room is right ahead, right there. It's going to start at 7. It's going to last 7 to 9. You need to be there about 6:30, 6:45. The room will fill up, and it's probably a little smaller than this one. So be there. Have your ID. You need a regular ID.
Issue photo ID.
Yeah, like it has to have your birthday on it, has to have your picture on it.
Check it.
And we are checking IDs. If you are old enough to drink, you may bring it with you. But we will be checking IDs because we don't want any underage drink. Okay. But it's fun. If you were here last year, anybody at the panel last year? Was it not a stream? Is it not the best panel you've ever been to in your life?
All I have to say is Tracy not
Just a reminder, there is no cameras of any kind. That means we want you to turn your cell phones on silent, put them in your pockets, keep them stored, no video, no audio, no still cameras. I will be taking still camera shots tonight, but I am the only one.
And the only reason we do that is because we promise our guests that this is not recorded. This is not going to get, so that they can relax and say whatever they want, do whatever they want. Because how many times have you been on a panel and you ask a question and they get ready to answer you and with this gleam in their eye and they look down at this 12-year-old right in front of them. And they completely change what they were going to say. And you're like, oh, I want to hear that story. Tonight is when you can hear those stories. So be there.
And I have a bit of a sailor mouth, so I'm not going to be able to.
All right, everybody, that's time.